this is a very passionate, emotional issue, and this is like the fifth time I've done this video. I don't want to come off being too emotional and going on some crazy rant like Alex Jones, or you know, having an emotional outburst like James Yeager. Uh, but all that being said, to Mr. Yeager, I salute you. Here's to you. At least you had the balls to post on YouTube what everyone was feeling, but no one had the guts to say. To your balls, sir. And this, I guess, would be my statement to everyone else. Um, See, I understand being afraid. I know what fear is. I know what it's like to live in fear. Right? Um, you can look on my YouTube channel and see where I've had to go through all the trouble of putting up evidence and everything else. I've had to fight tooth and nail, fire a lawyer, secretly videotape him lying to me, and everything else just to get these few little pages. That's it. This is what the big fight was over. I wasn't concerned about the computers. The computers was a smokescreen. I had copies of all the evidence that was on the computers anyway. And yeah. Anyway, it essentially comes down to this. See, I'm not going to give an argument for the Second Amendment. I am going to reply to something that James Yeager said. When he took down his little emotional video about, grabbing your guns and your packs and going, he put up another video talking about how if you're going to fight the government, you're going to become an insurgent, and you're going to be the enemy. Well, in that regard, I'm a veteran, so I'm already a potential terrorist. For 7 years, I have dealt with crooked cops tied to organized crime trying to set me up. And what pisses them off more than anything else isn't that I'm guilty. It's that I'm innocent and that I'm fighting them. See, I've played crazy many a times to get them to think I'm stupid, or that they can easily incite me to doing something stupid. And for 7 long years, I haven't done it a single time. See, they want me to be violent. That way they can call in their buddies for help and everything else. But they don't know what that is. None of them's actually ever been in that situation. See, they don't know what the fuck a firefight is. They have no concept of one. They think they do. They think it's going to be all hero, macho, yeah. But it's not. It's basically shitting yourself, dodging bullets, and fucking praying you don't fucking die, or your gun jam, or any number of stupid shit happening that can fuck up. You can stub your toe and it can slow you down for half a second that allows someone to put a bullet in your ass. I mean, I don't want to go off on the fucking left field with this, but it comes down to a reality of the matter. Reality is, you throw up an assault weapons ban, registration, any of that shit, and you're looking at a fight. Now, I know there's a lot of police officers who aren't going to enforce it. I know the military is not going to. I mean, they really shouldn't. If they do, they deserve what they get. But it comes down to it like this. You don't shit where you eat. You live here. This is your country. This is your home. It's great for these politicians who have, millions of dollars due to insider trading and own land in foreign countries or 2 or 3 other foreign countries to do this, because they can leave the country and they don't give a shit. They think they're getting away. But that's not really going to happen. See, what it essentially comes down to is a real simple stand down order. You enforce it, you start a war. You don't, life goes on. real simple. So everybody's like, well, he's just saying he's going to kill the government. He just talked about starting war. I'm talking about general concept here. But in all possibility, yeah. See, I have no problem picking up a gun and fighting. I have lost 7 years of my life dealing with corruption and bullshit, lies, manipulations, fucking all this shit. I have reached a point to where I no longer give a fuck. See, I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have a wife or kids or a family, any of that. I lost all of that when I decided I was going to buck on the system and attest my innocence instead of, accepting guilt for a crime I didn't commit. I've dealt with evidence being falsified and covered up, and then the people who helped falsify it and helped cover it up are the people who had a responsibility to actually, seek justice and do something about the falsified evidence, not do anything at all. That places a very, very heavy burden on the situation now. See, I'll take the hit. I'll let them say whatever the fuck they want about me. It's clear my name. And when it comes to my Second Amendment rights, that is my right to defend myself, to defend my life. That is the right that protects my life. And I will defend it with the same conviction that I will defend my life. So, it comes down to it as this. Rock'em sock'em robots. Let's see who loses a head first. For all the people who, all these fake-ass plastic liberals that are jumping up behind Obama, he's doing the same shit that Bush did. And you hated it when Bush did it. Now the campaign motto has suddenly changed from hope and change to Bush did it first. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe that's what they were hoping for. He would get elected and then he would change his motto to Bush did it first. Hey, who knows? The reality of the matter is, this is a very serious issue. There's a lot of emotions tied to it. A lot of people are high-strung, high-keyed, and a lot of people are scared. They're scared for where the fight that they know is coming. You can file whatever paperwork and everything else you want. That's the reality of it, these fake-ass liberals that get up here talking about, well, how dare you compare Obama to Hitler? Hitler was a monster. Let me tell you what, that monster, before he became a monster and showed his true colors, was a very loved prime minister or whatever they had of Germany at the time. He brought Germany out of their own Great Depression. After World War I, Germany was left holding the bag, having to pay for the whole war. It crashed their economy. And Germany was, really in a huge, massive depression, worse than our Great Depression. And Adolf Hitler got elected, and he went in and he fixed some things, and everybody loved him. He was a national hero. And then came war, and then came gun control, first registration, then confiscation, then shooting people in the back of the head. But that was too expensive for the bullets, so they started putting them in the back of trucks that were sealed up, so that the carbon monoxide would come in and the people breathing would release carbon dioxide, and there would be no oxygen, and they would all die from suffocation. And then they throw you in a ditch, cover it up. And then came the death camps, concentration camps, whatever you want to call them. I like death camp, it's more honest. And giant ovens and gas chambers and all this other stuff, because that was an industrial way of killing people. He industrialized murder. Guess what? Joseph Stalin did the same thing. Castro too. Mao. Oh God, yeah. And here's what it essentially comes down to. You take away my right to defend myself, I get worried. I will die to defend that right. See, when they declared all veterans as terrorists, okay, that told me something right there. Because there's two things you need to understand. Number one, first of all, U.S. Special Forces under USOC, U.S. Special Operations Command, all enlisted soldiers who happen to be NCOs, by the way, all of the Special Ops guys are at a minimum a junior NCO, which is a sergeant on up. All of them, since JFK created USOC, are under the charter that in case this country is ever invaded, our government goes rogue, whatever, and becomes unconstitutional, that they are to lead the civilian population in a revolt against their own government. So you go start declaring these guys as, the enemy, then it kind of highlights your plan. But you start talking about, well, all these veterans, they have combat training, so they're a potential threat. It kind of shows your hand, too, because by that same standard, veteran police officers should be considered the same thing. Actually, more so because they have a good internal working of how the security precautions and the SOPs and everything else works on the police side of things, which actually makes them more of a threat, especially the SWAT guys and the guys who've gone through sniper school for the police and everything else. But they weren't just the soldiers. The other issue is that all soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines swear an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution and the ideas of the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. So you, from the rip, take the guys who have had patriotism and ideology beat into their head to give them a reason to go out and fight a war and to kill people for you to make money off of them, off their death and their sacrifices and their love of their country. And then you get worried because these people come home with that ideology. And a lot of them are idealists. And I'm still an idealist. I was an idealist when I was in grade school, in junior high, in high school. I was an idealist in the Army, in the Marine Corps, in the Army Reserve. I'm 32 years old, and I'm still an idealist right here today. I believe in ideas. I believe in the idea of equality, the idea of freedom, the idea that a man can be responsible and take care of himself, and that our rights are our responsibilities to stand up and do something. I believe that, I believe in God. I believe in the idea of a higher power. I don't care what religion you have. I believe that there is a higher power out there. I don't care. You can attach to whatever you want. You can call it Buddha, Tao, Allah, Yahweh, God, the Force. I don't care. The goddess, whatever. But the idea is that I believe that there's a hereafter. I know I'm going to die regardless. See, no one gets out of life alive. But what I'm looking for is a good death. The only way to have a good death is to live a good life. If it comes down to a line in the sand, then I'm going to cross it. I'm going to do what I feel is right regardless. And I'm not going to do it if it's just me. If it's just me out there, fine, cool. I'm not asking anyone to stand with me. I'll stand alone. All I'm asking for is you get the fuck out of my way. Because I don't want any collateral damage. And when it comes across that line, I'm not going to just cross that line and stop and say, oops, I crossed the line. I'm sorry, I made a boo-boo, go run and hide. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to run as far and as fast as I can across that line as my legs and God will carry me. If my legs give out, I pray that there's angels that catch me when I fall and just drag me another 100 yards. If it comes down to something like that, it's going to do it. And I already have that experience of being the bad guy, of having my name slandered, of having my family threatened, and everything else dealing with this small-town bullshit corruption. We all have to make a choice. the question isn't whether or not you make the wise choice, it's whether you make the right choice.